So any points inside the curve, it's inefficient. You have unemployment. Any point on the curve, it's efficient. Any point outside the curve, impossible, unobtainable. Okay, given current resources, okay, again, given current resources, okay, right now, it's not obtainable. But in the future, maybe, who knows, right? If you have more resources, yes. For a straight line, you have constant opportunity cost. And for bowed out, you have increasing opportunity cost. Okay, look. So for example, if I want to increase the same amount of calzo, what's going to happen? If I want to increase the same amount, okay, remember this is the same amount, I increase and I increase and I increase, right? Okay, so I increase this much at the beginning, okay, because your original point is right here, right? So at this point, you're only producing pizza. You're not even producing any calzo. Okay? But this is your original point. Now I want to increase this much calzo. What's going to happen? Of course, you're going to give up this much pizza. Okay? You're going to give up this much pizza, right? Okay. All right. But then again, if I increase the same amount calzo, okay, so I move to this point right here. Okay, and then I gave up this much pizza as well, right? Okay, and then what if I increase the same amount of calzo? Okay, you are at here, and this is how much you gave up for pizza. And then in the end, okay, the same amount of calzone increase. Okay, and then this is how much pizza you give up. You see, this is a simple math question. Like, if you just look at all this distance you gave up, it's the same, right? It's the same, okay? All right, because it's a straight line. Okay. All right, so you have constant opportunity cost. All right, now let's look at the bowed out shape. Because this is not a straight line, of course, what you give up is going to be different. Okay, so again, I want to increase the same amount of robots, the same amount, okay? So again, we are starting from this point right here. You're producing all pizza, no robots. So I'm gonna increase this amount of robots. What's gonna happen with your pizza? You're gonna give up, you see, you're gonna give up a little bit pizza, like a tiny bit pizza, right? But then I increase the same amount of robots here. Okay, and then I give up a little bit more pizza. Okay. And then I increase the same amount of robots. I gave up more pizza, right? You see that? Because this is a curve, right? Because it's not a straight line. Because you see the difference? You see? Okay, so that's why you have increasing opportunity cost. Okay. So again, when you increase the same amount of robots, but what you are giving up is increasing. Okay. All right. But why is that? For straight line, we are assuming that resources are easily transferable. What does that mean? Okay, so I don't care. Yeah, I'm making pizza. Okay, as laborers, I'm making pizza, I'm making calzone. I have basically similar skills, right? So if you want me to make pizza, I can make pizza easily. If you want me to make calzone, I can do that easily too, because I can transfer my skills and also resources like bread or flour and all that. Like, it's easily to transfer from pizza to calzone. So there's no specialization, but here, pizza to robots are two different things. Okay, so I can make pizza very well, but I don't know how to make robots. Yeah, sure. I mean, you can ask me to, okay, you go make robots. Yeah, I can learn, but obviously it's not going to be easy for me to learn, right? But then you're asking, well, so how come at first from this point to this point, you only give up a little bit pizza because this original point you're producing all pizza, right? All pizza. All people are producing pizza. All the resources are in pizza. There's no robots. No robots, right? No robots produced. But the thing is, in this society, some people are good at producing pizza, some people are good at robots. And you're asking the people who actually producing robots to produce pizza. So I mean, yeah, sure, they can produce pizza, but not very efficiently. So now, when you ask those people to produce robots, yes, they can produce a lot of robots, but so the pizza hasn't decreased that much, right? And then the further more you produce robots, that means you need to pull out the people who are good at producing pizza to produce robots. And they're like, yeah, I don't know how to produce robots, but yeah, I'll try. And so that's why the more robots you produce, the more pizza you're gonna give up. Okay, so finally you are gonna give up a lot of pizza to produce like this, also the same amount of increase in robots. Okay, because this many people they don't know how to produce robots at all. I mean, they can help. Um, so that's why.